Roots and Reflections is a program designed to enrich your life. It's about people, the land, Bible, the Hebrew language, travel, and most of all, tasting the greatest foods of the Middle East, ranging from archaeology to zoology and everything in between. Roots and Reflections. We go back to the source, rock by rock, cubit by cubit, through archaeology on Roots and Reflections. You've got to come and do this. This is a lifetime experience. Hezekiah's Tunnel. Archaeology 101. Wear a strong hat in case a rock hits you. It's amazing that history is just being uncovered bucket by bucket, pottery shard by pottery shard, coin by coin. Can you imagine 70 AD, the Jewish inhabitants of the city escaping through a drainage duct leading out of Jerusalem as the city itself is under siege? This is an incredible find. The newly discovered drainage channel, buried beneath rubble for 20 centuries, was mentioned by the ancient Jewish historian Josephus Flavius as a place where people hid from flames engulfing Jerusalem under Roman attack. Wow. Imagine Daniel facing one of these ferocious lions. Our program looks at the animals of the Bible. Now, can you see the resemblance? Considering the rock of our salvation and meditating upon the scriptures, we interview Bible teachers throughout the land.
The almond tree is the symbol of resurrection life, new life.
Like a stick of Aaron, it was in the tabernacle all the night, in dark, in cold, and suddenly in the morning it blossoms, when nobody is expecting, and the same with the almond tree. Nobody is expecting, and suddenly Israel is blossoms.
So where in the Old City can you actually see the Jerusalem of Jesus' day? Well, at the Western Wall, at the Southern Temple Mount excavations, and along the Tyropoeon Valley. All of that is truly from the time of Jesus.
I personally believe, and there's archaeological evidence that would support this, that it was on that great staircase going up to the Hulda Gates that the Apostle Peter preached the sermon on the day of Pentecost, because that's where the multitudes from the nations would be gathered.
On Roots and Reflections, we savor the best food in the Middle East, and we know where to find it. One for me, and one for you.
The Israelites were for 40 years in the desert. It took them time to make these, so I'm sure they didn't have blenders in those days.
Original Arabic coffee in the streets of Jerusalem, made the right way. Ooh, smell. And talking about coffee, coffee had its origins in Yemen and Ethiopia in the 15th and 16th centuries. I'm married to a Yemenite, I should know.
But of course, we have to have a choice in every course, and here we have the kebabs.
That Abrahamic blessing is too much. On Roots and Reflections, we explore the Jewish roots of our faith, celebrating the feasts of the Lord.
And we greet each other, Gmar Chatima Tova, with the idea that on Yom Kippur, on the Day of Atonement, 10 days after Rosh Hashanah, there will be the verdict, and that the verdict will be merciful.
The Feast of Tabernacles represents the final end, the good news of the kingdom of the Messiah. And it's interesting, they're both in Christian tradition and therefore in Jewish tradition, there's an association of joy. Finally, there's a happy end. Finally, everything works out, Jews and Christians together, the Messiah comes, resurrection dead, peace on earth, everybody's happy.
Happy Purim.
Now let's go over to Jerusalem's Ben Yehuda Street. It's only a 10-minute walk from Mea Shearim to Ben Yehuda, but each neighborhood represents a different world, maybe even a different universe. Roots and Reflections, Word of the Week, gives you the keys to the Hebrew language to get by in Israel. Let's give it a try. How about sabra, the Hebrew word for a cactus, or a native-born Israeli.
That leads us to the word of the week, Belagan!
Past, present, and future, Roots and Reflections takes us on a journey through time and history. Hand-to-hand combat. They were throwing grenades from trench to trench in order to take this position, the northern entrance to Jerusalem. The Bible comes alive on Roots and Reflections. We discover what life was really like during the times of King David, the prophets, and the apostles. They were all with one accord in one place, and suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. Then there appeared to them divided tongues as of fire, and one sat upon each of them. Jerusalem News Network and Roots and Reflections cover many of the latest news events in the Middle East as biblical prophecy unfolds. Hamas terrorists fire a Qassam rocket. The alarm is sounded in the town, and 15 seconds later comes the explosion. As you see on our program, we talk about nearly everything. So join me for a front row seat and watch Roots and Reflections.